Hello, today we're going to learn how to make a particle system in DaVinci Resolve. Let's jump into it. So this is the Fusion page, and first we're going to create our particle. So press Shift Space and type ellipse. And view this in the left viewer by pressing 1. And next we want to add a little bit of a noise pattern. So let's press Shift Space and Fast Noise. And connect our ellipse to the mask input and view this. And next we want to make this a bit softer, so go to the ellipse and change the soft edge. And let's go back to fast noise and the image and deselect auto resolution and change the size to 512 by 512. And now we have our particles. So let's also tweak a little bit under the noise parameter, the seed, so we have something more uniform. Okay, so this will do as our smoke puff. Next, create an emitter. So press Shift Space and type P emitter. And then go to our emitter and change under the image, under the style to bitmap. And then we get a new input that we can connect to our particle. And to be able to see this, we are also going to need a particle renderer. So press Shift Space and P render and connect our particle to the input and view this in the output on the right. And this is a 3D view, so change the output mode to 2D. And next go to the translation and move this down to the bottom of the screen. And let's look at the result. So this is quite a lot of particles. Let's reduce this a little bit first. So I'm going to change the emitter under the emission settings to only 1 to keep this a bit more lightweight. And then add a velocity and change the angle so they move upwards. So this will be 90 degrees. And let's keep them quite, oh, this will do for now. Okay, so next we want a little bit of turbulence. So let's add, press Shift Space and P turbulence. And insert this with Shift. And we can increase the X strength a little bit so they move a bit more. And also add a little bit of drag. So we are going to add a friction. Shift Space and P friction. And add this in between Shift and connect. And this is too much, so let's reduce the friction. So let's see, let's say half of this. This is still a bit much, so let's say 0.4. Okay. We can reduce it a little bit more. Okay, that's the wrong one. So next, let's make these particles a little bit bigger. So go to the emitter and under the style to size controls and increase the size. And now when they get bigger, they also get denser, so we need to decrease the gain. And let's increase a little bit more the size. Okay. So this is a starting point. Let's add a black background under this. So Shift Space BG for background. And then a merge node, Shift Space merge. And connect the background to the merge and the particle render to the merge as well. And let's clean up this a little bit. And now if we look at this over the black background, we have something that resembles smoke. And let's connect this to our media out. And also we want to change the color to make this look maybe like fire instead. So let's add a color corrector. So shift space color corrector and connect this after the renderer. And then make this a bit warmer. So now we have something that resembles fire. And we can also make the particles slightly bigger. So let's go back to our emitter and to the size. We can change the size during lifetime. So let's add a little bump in this curve and hold Command key to move these tangent handles. And also we may want to fade out the beginning and the end. So go to Fade Controls and add some fades. Okay, so now we have something that resembles a fire. So let's look at this result. You will have to keep tweaking this to get the exact effect that you want. But I hope this was helpful. And see you next time. Over and out.